Hmm. Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. This is the second day that this episode has felt like a filler, and also just more of setting up for like maybe Friday's episode. Because where do I start? All right, we'll start with those two. Remy and Sheila don't really talk about a lot that's interesting. There is one point where I feel like Sheila's being a little too understanding of Steffi because Remy's like, listen, Luna can't even sit there and see her own dad because of Steffi. And, you know, while Sheila points out that she could be very stubborn and very opinionated and this, that, and the third, she's also like, Steffi has been through a lot. And I'm kind of just like, when do we start becoming so understanding of Steffi? Like, you can't even see your own son. One, because, well, let's be honest, Finn doesn't have any balls. Okay. Finn is not a man. If we're going to be honest, Finn may look like a man, but he is not a man. But Steffi has a large hold over him, and she ultimately decides on who he sees and who he doesn't. So I don't understand why is she being so like I feel like she should still be a little upset with Steffi. Um, on some level, it's like what happened. Anyway, the conversation practically goes nowhere. I mean, it's more filler until they get to the point where he talks about meeting her at the gun range. And that's when she's like, I'm sorry, what? And then she thinks about a conversation that she had with Luna, talking about, listen, she's going to leave with a bang and everything. And at that point, she's like, but part of me is like, okay, you know that before she left, that she said something very cryptic, very cynical, very like, what's going on with you? Right? The minute that you heard that she was at a gun range and that he helped her practice her aim, your first your first call should have been to Lee and Steffi and Finn to be like, hey, listen, you might want to sit there and watch your back. Instead, she just kind of just does nothing. She just kind of stands there in this haze like she's guessing of what to do when the answer is pretty obvious. You should do whatever you have to do to not just, protect Steffi or whatever, but also protect your own goddamn granddaughter. And so she's just kind of standing like, what should I do? Um, so after Taylor and Steffi are sitting there talking about the wedding because, I part of me does not understand why Steffi wants her mom to sit there and be with a man who has pretty much waffled with her entire life. I don't get that. You would sit there and think that her mother, that she would want more for her mother, the same way that Will wants more for his mother. Because he's like, listen, I like my dad, but when it comes towards romance, he's kind of trash, in that department. So I don't understand why she's so gun ho about this whole wedding. Anyway, Hayes gets home and he shows, both of them the origami game. I don't understand how this game is played, but as they're playing it, the pictures are starting to get more disturbing and a little more creepy. At first, it's, shows them a picture of the sun and then the moon and then a heart being broken. And then it shows a picture of a woman with X's on her eyes. And they're all like, what the So at that point, he pretty much goes to his room to, read and go on his iPad or whatever. And she's like, all right, I need to sit there and talk to this teacher because I need to find out who these people that's meant they're coming in there, you know, teaching the kids and particularly my son about this very disturbing ass game. So the teacher calls her and practically tells her to come down to the school. It's about Hayes and everything like that. Meanwhile, this teacher got a gun pointed at her by yours truly. And she asks, she's like, "What do you plan on doing with Steffi?" Girl, you're the hostage. You're not supposed to be like you're not in charge of what they're asking. You don't get to ask her questions about what she's planning on doing. She has a gun. What do you think she plans on doing? That's what happens when you sit there, you give. And by the way, like the way she says it, it's so um sorry about that. I get it. She has, she could be a model or whatever, but like this is the problem. Like when you start giving some of these people like these speaking roles, it's like anything happens, and anything literally does happen, and it's not always for the best. Um anyway, I feel like that's generally about it. Like there's not really much to this episode, but I'm pretty sure stuff is gonna go down probably on Thursday or Friday. So those episodes should be pretty interesting. Anyway, if I forget anything, write in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. Also, I'll be doing a live stream tonight. We'll sit there and talk about whatever this episode was, your thoughts on it, and more. See you in the next video.